A1, A1, A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam. Cooler and I'm flyer too.
Hello, hello. Today we'll be having a conversational type interview with More to Live For's own Ernest Moore. How you doing today, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me, wanting me to be a part of this project that you're doing, man. I hope it's everything you wanted to be.
Yes, sir. I would like to know if you could further introduce yourself to the viewers.
Oh yes, like you said, man, you introduced me very well, man. I'm Ernest Moore, uh, founder, uh, chief executive officer of More to Live For YouTube channel. I've been doing that for consistently the better part of 7, 8 months right now.
Okay, so what's your inspiration for starting More to Live For?
Uh man, the inspiration, man. It's so much, man. For one, I'm getting close to 40. And just some of the things that I've seen and been a part of, in this journey of life, man. And I realized that no matter what it is, good or bad, no matter what you got going on in life, we all got more to live for. So that's how I came up with the name. And as far as like wanting to do the channel, I always been good at talking. Never, in a negative way though. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to my communication skills. So I kind of wanted to utilize that, and that led me to the journey of starting a channel.
Right. Right. So what has been your favorite part about your journey so far?
Oh man. To be honest, man, the different people that I've been able to network with, different people, different walks of life. For example, I've been able to do projects with people in Australia, Germany, as well as, in California, quite a few people in California, actually, in Sacramento and Los Angeles. And, and for me to be in Eastern North Carolina, a really small part of a big state, I think I think those are big accomplishments for me and the channel to be able to do projects with people so far away with bigger platforms.
Hmm. Okay. So we know the good. So now I gotta ask, what's been the toughest part of your journey so far?
Oh man, the toughest part, man, is I'm glad you asked the question actually, man. Nobody never asked me that. Just the inconsistency with people. That's really been the toughest part, trying to understand that, everybody got their own, life that they live in, and they may not be able to be, a part of everything that they say they would be. And I stress the fact that that's one of the toughest parts, because I can't get too high or too low about that, because at the end of the day, I'm asking you to talk in front of your phone or your laptop, like you're gonna, what I mean, more than likely you're gonna do that sometime during the day anyway. So a part of me wants to be upset when people don't want to do something as little as that. But then on the other hand, I can't be upset because you don't want to do something as little as that. If that makes sense, man. But in a nutshell, the inconsistency with people.
True. True.
And something else that I've been experiencing as I get further in this journey is learning how to protect your image and your likeliness, man. And definitely protect your investments, if that makes sense. Because you don't want to see your ideas or your image or anything that you know you responsible for. You don't want to see, I ain't gonna necessarily say you don't want to see nobody else with it, but you don't want, I mean, if you see somebody else with it, it should be, in a way that's you know, beneficial to you. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to see somebody else with running with your brand and you really don't, have any dealing with it. That makes sense. Sorry to be long-winded, but that was a complex question.
Yeah. So 1 year from today, where do you envision your channel?
Man, 1 year from today, man, I envision my channel definitely being monetized, but hopefully by then I'll be able to have, my own studio. My own studio where I can do more on the channel because it's definitely more to live for. But I want to be in a position where I can do. I definitely like my live stream interviews, but I want to take my in-person interviews to another level. I want my in-person interviews to be as detailed as my StreamYard interviews, if that makes sense. And I realized that, I don't know necessarily if this is something that you wanted to ask me, but we're speaking of the future. But I realized that the things that I want, from this channel, relocating might not be a bad idea. So that's something that I can see as far as the channel in the next year.
I can dig that. Okay, so as far as also different topics on your channel, I'm gonna touch on one before we get up out of here. If you could pretty much give any advice to anyone who's never dealt with a child with autism, what would it be?
All right, I'm glad you asked that. I'm gonna back up for a second because I didn't actually tell the viewers and the listeners what I have on my channel. So my fault to you and to everyone watching. But on my channel, I do interviews about autism, sickle cell awareness, the legalization of marijuana. I only did one project about that, but that is one of the main foundations of the channel, and the rehabilitation of a incarcerated North Carolina individual. I do interviews with people that's been to prison as well as people that are still in prison. But you asked about autism, and like I said, that is one of the main foundations. So I believe the question was, what advice would I give to anybody dealing with a
Who's
child?
never dealt with children who have autism?
Oh, who's never dealt with patience. Patience. That's the best thing I can say. Never dealt with a person with autism. Patience. But being an adult and it shouldn't be hard for any adult to sympathize with a child with special needs. So but my advice, patience, and do as much research as you can about it so you can understand the different things that autistic children may go through. And me myself, I have two autistic sons, and they just as different as they would be if they didn't have autism. You know what I mean? So it's like, every child is different, but I want to stress the fact that every autistic child is different as well. So definitely patience and a lot of love and a lot of prayer, just like you would do um, with any child. But to be totally specific, learning the science behind it, that's definitely helpful. And yeah, learning the science about it, being able to control what you can control as far as like what's triggering meltdowns and things like that. But the most part, the same thing you would do with any other child. The same love, the same care, the same patience, but just learning the science behind it because, of the autism spectrum.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely understand that. It's always good to make ourselves aware so we can be able to understand anyone with those different type of deficiencies like autism and sickle cell and anything else that's just going on with us. You never know what the next person is going through. And I would like to thank you for taking your time out to conduct this interview with me. Definitely learn some things about you, your channel, and your purpose, and definitely look forward to more conversations and going in the future.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you for having me, and I hope this conversation that we have can be helpful to anybody that come across.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Until next time, I thank you so very much. And we're going to sign off for now. Until next time, peace and blessings to you.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam.